So one of the key things to making a absolutely wonderful chicken Chesapeake is a moist chicken. I think the best way to make sure you get a moist chicken is with Sous vide. So I'm going to use my Nova immersion circulator and give this chicken a bath for about 4 hours at 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I'm going to use a vacuum sealer, but you could also just use a regular Ziploc bag. Whenever I do use a vacuum sealer, I take the edges and fold them down so it doesn't cause problems when trying to seal the bag. I'm going to go ahead and put the 4 organic chicken breasts inside the bag, and we're going to go ahead and add about 2.5 tablespoons of butter. If you guys haven't experimented with Sous vide, I strongly encourage you to give it a shot, especially if you're a barbecue person. You can definitely relate Sous vide to barbecue. You're cooking at lower temperatures for longer time periods. Now on this cook, I do have a special ingredient, and I'm gonna need to use a smoker for that. I'm also gonna use the smoker to crisp up the chicken when it's done the Sous vide bath. I love using the Rectech RT680 pellet smoker for cooking bacon. It makes it so simple, there's no cleanup, and it makes some delicious tasting bacon. After a 4-hour sous vide bath, my chicken breasts are done, and I'm going to go ahead and take them out of the sous vide bath and let them sit right there in the bag, in the butter, in their juices for about an hour and just rest. Once they're done the resting period, I'm going to go ahead and cut them into what I'm going to call like medallions or little slices or whatever you want to call them. However you're going to serve it, that's how you're going to cut them. And now I want to go ahead and cut these pieces of chicken rather than serving them whole or, like I said, stuffing them, so that I can get more flavor by browning them up in a cast iron pan on the Rectech. I'll show you more in just a little bit. But first, we need to go ahead and get this Chesapeake sauce underway. 1 tablespoon of Old Bay, 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese, 2 tablespoons of mayo, half package of room temperature cream cheese, half a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, a teaspoon and a half of salt, a teaspoon of coarse black pepper, a tablespoon of mustard, a splash of Old Bay hot sauce, as well as a splash of apple cider vinegar. The Chesapeake blue crab is the most popular seafood on the Delmarva Peninsula and probably anywhere around the Delmarva Peninsula. It's Maryland's largest commercial fishery. However, due to some overfishing and environmental pressures, the fisheries have seen declining yields in the last 10 or so years. Some people can't understand all the effort that goes behind picking a blue crab. They don't produce as much meat per effort per se, like a snow crab or a king crab or any of the larger crabs, but the flavor of the blue crab is definitely unique, and it's used in a lot of dishes, especially Chicken Chesapeake. So after blending up the ingredients we just mixed together, it's time to go ahead and add the crab meat. Now, you can use other crab meat, but like I said, the blue crab is really the staple of this recipe. The one thing you want to really pay attention to when you're putting the crab meat into the sauce is making sure that you don't damage the crab. You don't want to lose size of your lump. You pay good money for lump, and that taste, that flavor when you bite into a piece of lump is just, you just don't want to lose that. So just kind of fold the crab meat into the sauce, get it so the crab meat's nice and mixed up and coated with the sauce, but don't damage the structure of the meat. Make sure your lump doesn't get broken up into pieces. Now it's time to go ahead and fire up the RecTech pellet smoker. And the wonderful thing about technology these days is you can use it for even things like firing up your smoker. Just go to the app, turn it on, set the right temperature, and smoke starts rolling. Now I am going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 425 because the Chesapeake sauce needs to be heated up. And the best way to do that is to just stick it in the oven for about 10 minutes or so. As the RecTech is coming up to temperature, I'm going to go ahead and put a cast iron pan on the grill. I'm also going to go ahead and add some olive oil and let that come up to a temperature. I'm looking for 450 to 500 degrees so I can get a fairly decent sear on the chicken pieces. I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken pieces in the cast iron pan and just kind of stir a little here, a little there. I'm not looking for a dramatic sear, I'm just looking for a little more flavor. Chicken's got a little bit of a sear to it, and the crab mixture is up to a nice warm temperature. It's time to go ahead and build the dish.
Here on the Eastern Shore, Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia, we take our crab very, very seriously. You guys probably have some food from where you're from that you take very seriously. This is one of our dishes. We stuff crab in everything. Rather it's an Oscar with beef, or Chesapeake with chicken, or in fish, we stick crab everywhere you can possibly imagine. You can make this thing look as fancy as you want, or you can just throw it in a pile on the plate. You can take a big old dab of crab, and we're just gonna set that right on top. Just like that. We take crab really serious on the Delmarva Peninsula, and this is one of these very serious dishes without a whole lot of serious effort. Oh, I almost forgot the secret ingredient. You guys can't let me forget the bacon. We cooked all that bacon, cooked it to a crispy type of texture, and then just crushed it up. And you just put a little bit of that right there. Bam. Now that looks delicious. Now that's much better. Let's go ahead and give this bacon top chicken Chesapeake a shot. Now what you'll notice is that I did mine just a little differently than some do, and you'll see a lot of people that stuff their chicken breast with the stuffing, the crab imperial type of stuffing. I prefer to do it like this. I think you get more flavor. You can sear the edges of the chicken a little better. Gordon Ramsay says no color, no flavor, and when you slice it up in little medallions like this, you have the opportunity to get a lot more color, a lot more flavor. That's amazing. The flavor, the smokiness from putting that chicken on the grill and that cast iron, the Old Bay coming through with the crab, and that blue crab unique flavor and texture just popping. It's the highlight of the show. If you didn't want to use bacon, you could use rich crackers to put on top, give it a little crunch. You gotta have that little bit of crunch. There's a lot of things that you could do with this to really make it your own, but I want to encourage you to not go overboard. The beauty and the simplicity of this dish is that it is simple and absolutely phenomenal. I've eaten a ton of food in restaurants that's nowhere near this level. And that's not me bragging, it's just it's the dish. You gotta let the dish kind of show itself and shine. You need to try it out. Recipe is going to be over in the members section. And if you're not a member already, go to where you could be a subscriber of Delmarva Backyard. And on the side of that is a button that says join. Go ahead and be a member of Delmarva Backyard for a very small monthly fee. And you're gonna get all kinds of behind the scenes content, answered questions, recipes that are written and ready to print, all kinds of stuff like that. Guys, you hear it all the time, but truly the number one way to support my channel, Delmarva Backyard, is to watch the videos, rewatch the videos, because watch time is what really counts with YouTube. And send the video link to your friends, your family, anyone that may be interested in some amazing barbecue in the backyard. And they're gonna thank you for it, and I thank you for it. So you guys have an awesome week. I'll see you in the next video.